She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation. She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation.
Hey there, sweet souls. It's your forest fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, for today's pick a card, we are asking the question, what lessons am I currently working through? For pile number 1, we have the Chrysocolla heart. For pile number 2, we have the Fluorite heart. And for pile number 3, we have the, I believe it's Serpentine heart. Take a look at each pile, follow your intuition, and I will see you in your reading. Hey there, pile number 1. How are you? It's your forest fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, pile number 1. The question for today's pick a card is, what are the lessons that I'm currently working through? What are the lessons that pile number 1 is currently working through? We're going to put the intent into each deck. What are the lessons that pile number 1 is currently working through? What are the lessons that pile number 1 are currently working through? Let's get some fairies out. What lessons? Oh, a blessing of the dreams. You could be getting messages from your dreams, through your dreams. You might want to keep a dream journal. Sometimes, as soon as you wake up, you can remember, but as your morning goes on, if you don't write them down, they're difficult to remember. So as that dream fairy just wanted to show its face, you could be, just write down your dreams. If you can remember them, try to write them down. Keep a dream journal by your bed. That way it makes it easier for you to do so. And the question we're asking for today's pick a card is, what lessons is pile number 1 currently working through? What lessons are pile number 1, or is pile number 1 currently working through? Right there. What lessons is pile number 1 currently working through? What are the lessons that pile number 1 is currently working through? I have been picking out the cards, or I guess the decks, for next week's pick a card. What lessons is pile number 1? What lessons are they currently working through? What lessons is pile number 1 currently working through? What lessons are pile number 1 currently? Oh, both of them wanted to come out. I see it. Are they currently working through. These are so sticky. We're experiencing a lot of humidity, and with that, everything is sticky. All right, well, they're not gonna fly off the table as I shuffle in the intent into each deck. I'll do it one more time. What lessons? Pile number 3 is pile number 1. Working through. What lessons? Well, I'm going to take it. Actually, no. We'll see if it comes out again. Like that Scorpio card. That amazed me. It did. That was the star card that wanted to show its face. So you are healing. And you do have hope that whatever you are going through, pile number 1, the hope, the feeling of that star card was healing and hope for the future, that you won't make, for some of you, won't make the same mistakes again, and that you have definitely learned from things that you are currently or have gone through with that star card showing its face. We'll see if it comes back up. Last card, my little baby cards, and I found some beautiful little baby cards for next week, so I'm kind of excited about the combo that I have. And so let's start with that little baby card. First card out. Oh, that one. What is that? They're holding a heart. That little image is holding a heart. So you could be healing your heart. The lessons you've learned is really maybe to, not just to open your heart, but to be vulnerable through the heart space. This is self-love, taking care of oneself. Is this a lesson that you've learned? Well, the first card out says so, that you are learning to love yourself first. And universal truth. Love yourself first and universal truth. Let's take a look. Universal truth. You have found a new level of truth within yourself, and that is through the self-love. Yeah. To spend some time to allow it to touch into all aspects of your life, and that is the truth that lies within you. The truth rises to meet you. Be open to it. Being truthful with yourself opens more than you know. Creation is the universal truth, and it is rich within you. The truth is the doorway to the evolution you seek. The truth will enlighten the spirit and draw you into greater awareness with that universal truth. And truth be told, loving yourself first, diving into your truth, who makes you truly you, flaws and all. Mistakes, I'm learning as I get older that mistakes are just lessons, and this picket card is about the lessons that you're currently working through. And what I'm seeing so far is that you're working on being honest with yourself first, discovering your truths, and loving yourself unconditionally. Your totem animal, ooh, raven, magnetism, introspection, as we see with universal truth, self-realization, as we see with self-love, self-belief, courage, changeability. Oh, you might be while you're going through this process, you might be experiencing aloofness and the ability to spellbind and bewitch. Now, with that being said, the ability to spellbind and bewitch, have you been spellbinding and bewitching others? And the universal truth is that it's coming back to you. For some of you, I'm just saying. When I see the raven, there's a very clever and spiritual, magical totem animal. And when it says here, the ability to spellbind and bewitch, whatever you put out there, just know that it comes back. So you always want to make sure that you speak, because words are spells. and the words you speak. And that's why the word is so important, to speak kindness, to speak lovingly to yourself. Oh, I'm hearing it, to yourself first. How do you speak to yourself, pile number one? Do you speak to yourself kindly, or are you self-critical? Are you self-deprecating? Are you someone who doesn't believe in their abilities? Let's find out. Impotence, number 9. Let's take a look. Impotence. You are overwhelmed by events. You cannot do anything to help the situation evolve, nor can you cause any change, except this impotence. This, too, is love. This, too, is love. You are overwhelmed by events. You cannot do anything to help the situation evolve, nor can you cause any change, except this impotence. This, too, is love. This feels really, to me, pile number 1, that, and I'll just use this as an example. Let's say that you really loved someone and they left you, and you didn't see it coming, you didn't want them to leave, and they left you for whatever reason. Maybe it was for work, maybe it was for family, maybe it was for another love. I don't know. But you might have wanted to, or looked into, or researched how to put love spells, or to put it out there, manifesting their love. One thing I know for sure is that the only person you can and have the ability to control is you. And that's it, pile number 1. Don't tell my children that, because they still think I'm the boss of them. I'm just saying. But as they grow into their teens, they're discovering that they only control one person, and that is themselves. Their decisions, their actions, their words is the only thing they control. They really can't control the environment. They can't control the politics. They can't control. They can, as they grow into adults, go into the fields that, yes, they might be able to, I don't want to say cause change, but inspire change. But the only person they can really change is themselves. So let's see what the fairies say. A blessing of belief, and it says here, self-belief, universal truth, telling yourself the truth and believing. Let's take a look at what the fairies have to say. That's 35. 35. Your belief in the fairy may have wavered at times. As the human worlds invade your own enchanted space, this blessing brings you the belief that will help you through your days. The unshakable conviction that you have allies and friends in other realms. I believe that. I do believe in fairies. I do believe in angels. That's why, if you're new to the channel, if you go back, I have zodiac signs that I read up until June, basically. And when the kids are home for the summer, I'm doing these picket cards because I can get closer, only use half the table, and get closer to the cards so you can see the beautiful cards. Normally in my zodiac signs, I put the cards up on, do a lot of editing. And I want it to be an editing free, and I do a little bit of editing still in these ones, but not as much as I did with the zodiac signs that I did weekly. I say that to say that in those reads, I read from my favorite book, and that is this one. It's all worn and withered and dog-eared, and it's the Angel Numbers, and it's by Kyle Gray. And I see numbers everywhere, and I believe that through the numbers, through my phone, through the times, angels speak to me, through license plates especially. The kids and I like to read the angel numbers we see on license plates when we go on road trips. So as this fairy reminds you, pile number 1, that you have allies and friends in other realms, and they will be with you. to assist you, dance with you, and appreciate you. The gift of belief restores to you a lost piece of the soul, which I think this little guy is holding right there. For when we lose our belief, a part of ourselves can fade and dim, becoming quietly sorrowful, lessening the brightness of our days. So with this gift is returned to you belief, a sense that you and the fairies are entwined, one with the other, and your soul grows and becomes ripe again with belief. Let there be sureness in you, a quiet and loving conviction that there are indeed fairies, and that you are a part of that world. And the natural world is the holiest place we have been given. Despair shall lift, doubt will vanish, and you will be returned to the faith that will brighten this day and every day to come. Belief, fairy friend. Believe, not belief, my apologies. Believe, fairy friend, for they believe in you. And a gift of faith. The belief is now yours. So believe, pile number 1. And let's see what this last oracle card is before we get into the tarot. I speak positively of others, and I also want you, pile number 1, to speak positively of yourself, for yourself, and about yourself. Let's take a look. I speak with sincerity. Nope, that's number 9. I speak positively. Number 17. All right. Let's take a look. I create as I speak is the vague interpretation of abracadabra, a magical word synonymous with mystery and mysticism. Students of esoteric philosophy may find themselves familiar with the sacred nature of the word and the role that sounds and vibration play in creation. In the book Initiation, Human and Solar by Alice A. Bailey, the power of the words is perceived to be fivefold, in that each word has varying creative degrees within its essence. They possess color, tone, form, energy, and activity. And the nature of the ensouling life, self-conscious and unconscious, God, man, or diva. When applying an ideal such as I speak positively of others, one may turn to this philosophy, looking at the words you weave as a series of soundscapes that shape perception and erect the architecture in which you house your reality. In speaking positively of others, you acknowledge the connection between yourself and the other. Your projection is a reflection. I like that. Your projection is a reflection. Not only do I like the rhyme, but I like the message. And by honoring each soul as a mirror of the spirit of the all through your words, you remain in harmony and perpetual balance with creation. Positive words tickle the heart, as this little guy is holding, and illuminate the aura. Compliments are constructive and kindness is contagious. I truly believe that kindness is contagious, like a smile. If you are kind to someone, they will feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And then they will be kind to someone else and get that feeling that you got when you were kind to them in the first place. It is contagious. How you speak to others will be mirrored back in how others speak to you. And this is very true. As someone who has been on the opposite side, both as a customer over a counter and as an employee, a server, behind the counter, I know for a fact that with my kindness, with my soft voice, with my compassion for the frustration of that customer, and let's say it's Christmas time, they've waited for a long time, and when they finally get up to my register, I have to change, let's say, the receipt wheel. And they have been waiting, and you're making me wait. And I don't get upset. I don't mirror their frustration back. I sincerely, and they can feel it in my energy. I've seen you wait, and thank you for your patience. My apologies, but without a receipt, you won't be able to make a return. And if this is a gift, you might need to make a return. And I don't want that to be a difficult experience for you. So just give me a minute, and I'll be very quick. And it's amazing when you explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, be compassionate to, I know that you've been waiting a long time. And then they mirror back that kindness. They then change their tone, take a deep breath, and go, I'm over shopping. I have been at this mall for hours, and I know. And you are sincere, not complacent, and not dismissive, and not smug, but you are really, I really do, and thank you for your patience. Here we are, we're ready to go. You push the little button so they see the receipt come up that you've just changed. Everything's working. Let's ring you in and get you in and out real quick, okay? That was me when I was in retail. That was how I spoke to every single person. I helped them, and it was through that kindness. And so when I read this truth, the universal truth, it's written right here, how you speak to others will be mirrored back in how others speak to you. And how you speak to others will echo through the ripples of time and shape the things to come. That is so very true, and such a beautiful message for you, pile number 1. So what I'm seeing so far through the oracle cards is that the lessons that you are currently working on might have to do, now this is a general read, so it might have to do with self-love, putting yourself first. As a mom, our kids come first. So putting yourself first, even if it's just to go for a walk, if it's to get your nails done, get your hair done, get out there and go out to a restaurant where you don't have to cook and clean. This is just an example for someone who might not have children, but you work and you're always filling in, and someone calls you in and you always say yes, and you're always going in. I'm talking to you, Capricorns. There might be a Saturday night that you say, no, I'm not available. I'm going out. And you do. You meet up with the girls, or you meet up and go golfing with the guys on a Saturday afternoon or morning, and you say, no, I can't come in. For some of you. But I see you loving yourself first and doing the things you love. I see you not trying to beat down those doors that have closed. They've closed for a reason. Your angels, your guides, your spirit team has closed those doors so that you go into a different direction. And looking at the universal truth, that is you looking at truth, even though you might not like it, looking at your truth, and even though that might have to take some introspection, some self-realization, and then a blessing of belief that we are all one. You do have guardian angels. You do have a spirit team and ancestors that are looking over you, protecting you. And they communicate with you and want you to know that they're there for you. All you have to do is ask for guidance. Quiet your mind. Get out into nature. And this is what I believe you are working on. The lessons that you are learning are to take care of yourself, to speak kindly to yourself, to speak kindly to others and positively of others, and to speak your truth. Let's get into the tarot. The World. Yep. This looks like a karmic cycle that's ending and a new beginning for you. Pile number 1. The 5 of Swords really speaks of an internal conflict. Swords are thoughts. So this could be, and with the 5, you could be battling inside your own mind about your beliefs, about your truths. And the 5 of Cups, yes. You might have been disappointed in love, disappointed with the way others, I'm hearing it, the way others speak to you. This could have quieted your voice. People could have called you, I don't know, an extremist or crazy, or You are, I don't know, I got that I was always in the clouds, right? That I wasn't really grounded. And of course I was grounded. I just had a wild imagination. I still do. Queen of Cups. The Nine of Wands. So it looks as if, do you see how this Nine of Wands is looking at that Queen of Cups in your truth might be that you are very intuitive, that you're very loving, that you're very kind. And now you feel, because of the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups, now fives are changes. Going through changes are good, and you could be learning lessons through these changes, pile number one. Their walls are up. The Ten of Cups, and do you see the Sun? I interpret the Ten of Cups as the minor to the major, which is the Sun, which is joy, love, exuberance, optimism. And last one of this tarot deck, the Queen of Wands, getting your confidence back, discovering with the Queen of Cups. When I have a Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands combo, that is magic, that is intuition, that is psychic ability, that is the ability to really quiet your mind and listen. And you could, in fact, listen to the thoughts of others. You could be someone who feels energies where the energies and the words don't really match, where you feel the intent of what the person is saying. So if I use my retail example, the intent or the tone that I use with my words, I've seen you wait. I've seen you waiting. I can't even say it mean, but I can. Oh, I've seen you wait. You've been waiting a long time, right? And the intent is I'm going to make you wait even longer, right? That intent, that's the energy underneath the same words that I used when I was being sincere and kind. The Queen of Cups sees right through this. This is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. And those water signs, as an earth sun and an air moon, let me tell you, those water signs, if you're not sincere and direct and kind with and have your energies match your words, they're on you. They know it. The only reason why I know is because I live with them. I've got my oldest is a water, and my boy number 4 is also water, Cancer and Scorpio. So I know very well that they're like, you're not being truthful, Mom. And I'm like, you're correct. I am not. I'm putting on a mask and trying to be nice when you are frustrating me. And they know. Those water signs know. The air, the fire boys, they don't know. Hermit. All right, so with our last tarot, I'm getting all the tarot out and we're going to read it. It looks to me that with self-love, that you are taking a leap of faith. We got the Five of Swords twice, so we're really going to take a look at why. This is thoughts going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you finally find one sword, and that's the sword of truth, universal truth, right there. And do you see that sun? I see the sun here, and I see it's almost like those red moons or a red sun. This is very interesting, because I also, for the first time, I see what looks to be like tombstones. And there's 4 of them. And there's 4 swords. And with it back and forth, it's like I'm going to take that leap of faith and, let's say, start something new, get a new job. Or no, I've got to stay where I am. I can't afford to. No, I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to move to a different state. No, I can't. I have a good apartment here. This back and forth is, and then with one sword up, I am brought back to that universal truth. The universal truth is creation, is that universal creation, is that universal truth. And the Fool is taking a risk to love themselves. As you can see, love themselves first. Speak positively, and I'm really feeling that the lesson that you're learning, pile number 1, is to speak positively of yourself, especially with the 5 of Swords coming up twice. That you are waking up with the Judgment card after going into hermit mode, finding your star, that you were waking up to your truth, that you were waking up to how important self-love is, of the mind, of the heart with the Queen of Cups right here, of the body as well. Now, because I've got the wounded warrior here, and yet, right, he's turned his back on this 10 of Cups. This 10 of Cups really speaks to me, to you waking up to your happiness, that it is a choice, that going deep within to find your truth is what's and we've got, I just noticed, the World and the Fool. So this is a karmic cycle coming to an end, and you are taking a leap of faith into a brand new beginning. Now, I'm going to read these from this creator, which is Greg White. I love his words. His words are really powerful, well written. The world, full circle, completion, fulfillment of a journey. On a sandy beach at sunset, a leatherback turtle returns to the ocean after laying her eggs. She is exhausted, but satisfied by completing her intended task. She has returned to this place year after year, but this will likely be her last. As the sun sets on her time, do you see the sun setting? I've got the sun here too. As the sun sets on her time, it rises for her unhatched young. The journey that has begun with the Fool, which we have right above it, reaches its conclusion with the World. If you are trying to accomplish a task or reach an important milestone, know that you are close to achieving your goals. Alternately, this card reminds us that nothing is missing or lacking. We are already whole, just as we are. Just as the cosmic turtle carries the world on its back, we too can be at home wherever we go, especially when we go in and find those universal truths. 5 of Swords. Let's take a look at the 5 of Swords. Right here, conflict, falling out, win or lose mindset. A proud goose poses victorious with its prize. Those who were unsuccessful in the hostile competition either hide or fly away. For the victor, the cost of winning may be greater than anticipated. Carefully consider which battles you choose to engage in. The fight will be right. The fight to be right is a dangerous game. That's what I see visually with this 5 of Swords right above it. Ask yourself if winning an argument outweighs the loss of trust, which has to do with the Universal Truth card, and respect from others, how I speak positively to others, absolutely. And the 5 of Cups. It's all coming together, pile number 1. The lessons you're learning is how to, not only how to speak to others, but it starts with self-love, as our first card stated. Self-love first, loving yourself. And when you lovingly speak to yourself in your mind, as the 5 of Swords is thoughts, swords are thoughts. When you lovingly speak, I speak positively of others, speak positively of yourself first. And then it will naturally come with others. The 5 of Cups. Loss and prolonged heartache. A mother mallard looks mournfully at the broken remains of her eggs. Her nest once held 5, but only 2 are left intact. It's funny. We've got a turtle laying eggs, and we have a mother goose, or a duck, a little mallard. She can either grieve her loss or cherish what remains. Where she focuses her energy is up to her, and that's another lesson. Not only to love yourself, to speak the truth, to speak kindly to yourself and to others, to believe in your magic, to believe in your psychic abilities. But also, as we see with this 5 of Cups, not to prolong or to hold on to heartache or disappointment. Are you ignoring these cries because you feel they're outweighed by, oh, sorry, wrong one. I was reading the 6. Hold on. She can either grieve with her loss or cherish what remains. What she focuses her energy on is up to her. Although we learn by reflecting on the past, take care not to dwell too long on brokenness. By forgiving ourselves, and that goes back to speak positively of others and ourselves, and those who have wronged us, we release the heavy burden of loss and disappointment. And that's why it's right below the Hermit, because you had to go deep within to find your truth, and thus finding universal truth, as well as let go of disappointments, make decisions, and not a win or lose, not to give back, but to forgive those who have hurt you in the past, to then go back and forth, and to come to that sword of truth, of clarity, and then to move forward, to wake up to that truth, as we see with the Judgment card, and then to move to a brand new journey, as the Fool card embodies. You are finding down here your happiness with the Ten of Cups, and it could be behind closed doors with the Nine of Wands. But with that happiness, you are really discovering, especially with this Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups combination, you're finding your magic. And with the blessing of the fairy, of the belief fairy, you're believing in it. And that's what I see you working through, especially with these fives here, pile number 1. That's what I see for you. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your forest fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number 2. How are you? It's your forest fairy here. Nice to see you again, pile number 2. Well, today's pick a card. We are looking at the lessons that you are currently working through. And that card literally fell out, and I haven't seen it. It fell right side down. I guess this one, right side down. Yes. Let's get a totem animal for you. We'll put the intent into each shuffle, and that is, what lessons is pile number 2 working through? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? What lessons? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? I love rhymes and I love alliterations, so I'm loving what lessons is pile number 2 working through. I love that. What lessons are pile number 2? I see you working through. What lessons is pile number 2 working through? 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 There. What last tarot deck? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? What lessons is pile number 2 working through? And of course, my last card out, which is my little baby cards. Which lessons is pile number 2 right there, working through. All right, let's take a look. Starting with our little baby card. Now, I've seen this one before, and it's basically hiding in plain sight. You might feel as if no one notices you. You might be working through lessons of standing up for yourself. Yeah, to protect oneself, to hide oneself, to be invisible. You might want to be invisible. You might be getting off of social media. You might be taking a break from it. You might not be posting as much. You might not even be watching as many videos as you once did. Incognito, oh, that's a thing too, like going incognito so people don't see you in the chats and whatnot. And just really, I said hiding in plain sight. Let's take a look at our initiation, Taurus. Taurus energy. I do love me some Taurus energy. That's my earth brother. Oh, wrong one. As a Capricorn sun, I love me some Taurus and Virgo energy. They seem very familiar to me, like siblings. Energy of growth, nurturing and support, integration. Energy with direction. Allow the structure to take its own shape. The unfolding of energy expands. I believe Jupiter's still in Taurus as far as expansion astrologically. And again, I'm not an astrologer, but I am learning. So in a couple years, I might say, guess what? I got my license. I hope they do license those astrologers and whatnot, because I really do think astrology is really more of a pillar, let's say, of the psychological world or psychology world. If you understand the basic science of astrology, then I think you can help people sort of unpack their mind, right? But that's based on their natal chart. But that's just me. That's just what I think. It's not a thing. But in saying that, I do wish there were bars to pass that when you went to an astrologer, they at least had some training, some schooling, and bars to pass, just like a psychologist, a lawyer, a doctor, right? But that's for the future. That's coming. Life is seen from new perspectives. A new structure is established. Perfect. The unfolding of energy expands. That's what got me onto the energy expanding, because I do believe that Jupiter is in Taurus. I don't know when it goes into Gemini. That I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. Transformation, concentration, the snake. And the snake gets a bad rap. It really does. But it is about transformation, concentration, self-awareness, coolness, instinct, preparedness, diplomacy, self-analysis, and, as we know, sexual intimacy. So there's a little bit of sensuality with this card that goes along with this totem. So you could be working, the lessons that you're working on currently have to do with how you feel. Do you feel invisible, let's say on a sexual level? Are you learning how to really value your body, your vessel? Are you taking care of it, feeding it properly? Are you really seeing your body as something that is beautiful? Let's take a look up here. The wear and tear of time. Oh. The wear and tear of time, 23. Let's take a look. Despite love opening up to something eternal, since it is born in time, it is destined to perish, despite the best intentions. The oracle indicates the attitude to adopt. Remain firm as a mountain, and we see the mountains there. Keep an absolute stillness and let yourself be crossed by what happens to you. This will also pass, despite love opening up to something eternal. Since it is born in time, it is destined to perish despite the best intentions. So I'm picking up from that. This speaks of your eternal soul. But because you were born into, and it's very interesting how I mentioned taking care of your body, Taurus, again, that very grounding body energy. Your worth is what Taurus speaks of. Expanding energy and going into the wear and tear of time. This could for some of you, you're feeling invisible. You could be getting older. I myself, and I'm going to be turning 50 in a couple of years. And I remember when I was younger, 50 was so old. Like when my mom celebrated her 50th birthday, oh my goodness, I thought, I was in my mid-20s. I thought she was so old. And here I am. And I was in my mid-20s because my mom had me young. And I didn't have my first son until I was 30. So there's going to still be, when I turn 50, there's still going to be teens. And they're going to think, oh, Mom is so old. She's 50. This card really speaks to, and with that heart there, that your soul is eternal, but your body isn't. So I'm really picking up, make every day. And this could be the lesson that you're working through right now. Make every day something special. When you wake up, take a big, deep breath and smile. I made it through the night. I'm awake. I am breathing. Take those deep breaths and smile. All right, so what am I going to do with this day? I had plans yesterday. Well, I guess, yeah, I got to get the kids to school, or I got to go to work, or these are the things that I've got to do. But on the time, those hours that are not clocked in, those hours that are free for me, what am I going to do? Do I want to hide? Or do I want to get out there and be seen? These are lessons that you could be learning. Pile number 2. Let's see what the fairies have. A blessing of, again, this, I'm going to say ain. Let's see what the fairies have. Some of these, first of all, I do not like this font on these fairy cards. I've been working with them all week, and I am having difficulties with the font. And I still can't read it. So I'm going to say Amy. I'm just going to say Amy. That's what I see. The fairies now bless you with the restoration of your innocence. That sense of being completely cleared of any guilt or dissonance around your body. Okay, pile number 2, we're talking about your body. We're talking about your age with the wear and tear. Have you been hard on your body? Have you not been taking care of your body? Is it time for Taurus to get into that Taurus energy of, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta eat right, I've gotta get moving, I gotta get off this couch or out of this office chair, I've gotta get off the screens, off the social media, and I gots to get out. Is that what this is? Because I am seeing it. The fairies are saying, and not to be hard on yourself. I don't want you to feel bad, pile number 2. I'm just reading the book. And these are my co-creators. This one's, Lucy Cavendish. She's a name. This is talking about being completely cleared of any guilt or dissonance around your body and your right to have complete sovereignty over your physicality. Your body belongs to you, sweet pile number 2. It is yours to share, yours to hold, and it's for you. It is your choice to take lovers, to be free of all commitments, or to explore. It is your choice, as long as you follow the magical principle of do not harm. Oh, you may do as you will. Let all your choices come from a healthy place. Let your sharings be nourishing and wild, freeing and glorious. Let intimacy grow, yet freedom remain, and let none ever make you feel ashamed for your choices regarding your own beautiful body. I agree 100% with this fairy. Be with whom you wish. Do with what you will, and yet no harm be done. Let yourself known that this gift of physical sharing or the joy of the body is to be from this time forth without shame. Let the fairy goodness, Amy, clear you from any fears around this autonomy and protect you from any forms, of manipulation. You are blessed and whole and without sin. You are a child of nature, of the earth, and your physicality is blessed and beautiful and clean and pure and flowing moonlight. Oh, what a beautiful message for you, pile number 2. And as I see it, this is the fairies telling you to take care of your body, be free with your body, have no guilt or shame with your body. And then it brings me back up to this card. Do you feel invisible? Do you feel shame? Are you working through lessons of shame and guilt that could have been passed on through your lineage, through your family, through your environment? It could be through your schooling or through your church. As the fairy said, you have no shame, no guilt. You are blessed and protected. I converse with awareness. I'm also seeing this as talking sweetly to yourself. Do you see that hummingbird whispering in her ear? Talking sweetly to yourself first, and then it's easier to converse with awareness sweetly to others. I converse with awareness. Number 33. That is, I'm going to read out of my book. And I haven't been with these number ones, but this one's special. And I want you to know pile number, and as I mentioned this book, I'm not sure if it was this pile or a different pile number 1, but I'm going to read an angel message to you because 33 is a special number. And even though this card does not have it on, it's number 33 in the guidebook. So, Master Jesus, number 33, and his angels are with you, pile number 2. This is a sacred time for growth and healing. And you could be going through those lessons of growth and healing as we speak. Pile number 2. Conversation is an art form all on its own. A balancing act of questions and answer, inquiry and insight, listening and hearing all at once. Combined with the variable aspects of speed, volume, gestures, body language, stress, rhythm, intonation, pitch, pausing, and phrasing, all within the constraints of a language's ecosystem of conversations, dimensions of dialogue may vary depending on the context of how you are conversing and the relationship you have with the person you are conversing with. Intonation into understanding's language variables, conventions, and creative power can occur through the divine art of conversation. When we are aware of how to effectively exchange ideas while also appreciating the silent wisdom of the listening ears and not just waiting for our own turn to talk and to be heard, quid pro quo is exchanged for meaningful discourse and deeper connection. We are awake because we are alive. But being awake and being aware are not necessarily the same things. Our senses allow awareness to integrate with understanding when we utilize our own idealized intelligence in how we communicate, express, and converse with all we meet, not just friends or those in our inner circle. Interesting. As I see right below what I just read about conversing, intonation, the power of conversation, not just waiting for your turn to talk, but actually listening, asking questions, being curious. Are you feeling invisible? And are the lessons that you're working on is how to converse? Maybe you're shy, some of you, in pile number 2. And this speaks of, and again, with that buzzing little hummingbird in her ear, that could be her spirit guides, her angels, her fairies, saying, ask this question. I think you should ask that question. Oh, that's an interesting statement. This is magic. The words that you speak are meaningful. And maybe this is the lesson that you're going through, that you're working through right now. Let's get to the tarot. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The Page of Swords. And the Nine of Wands. Interesting. So you're definitely learning with this page being in the center of the tarot. I kind of look at this as my oracle side and this is my tarot. And right in the middle of the spread is the I've got the Nine of Wands here, the Page of Swords. This stick very much looks like this sword, which is made out of wood. So I want to see what I keep calling it the Nine of Swords, the Page of Swords, is what the Page of Swords message is to you. Pile number 2. Page of Swords. Enthusiasm. Yes, inquisitive. That's what I Converse with Awareness was talking about. Energized by the power of an intriguing thought, a black-capped chickadee departs in haste, just like that blue jay. We'll go to the Knight of Swords next. It's right in here. This clever bird, a symbol of truth and good fortune, takes off to explore her world. The suspended wooden sword symbolizes mental training she is undergoing. Her communication style may be blunt, but it is honest and direct. And Conversing with Awareness talks about all the intonations, about all the ways that you can converse. So when you're learning, you could be learning how to talk to others, and retail is an excellent way to do this. As someone who worked in retail for many years, conversing with others, asking the right questions so you do not get that, no, I'm just looking. Nope. Are you looking for anything? Nope. Don't ask yes or no questions. Ask open-ended questions, or else you could get shut down with a no. Okay. But the Page of Swords is learning. This is the student card. And they're learning how to communicate. Her communication style may be blunt, but she is honest and direct. She's eager to learn, and her blade will sharpen with time. The next card is the Knight of Swords. So you are moving from page into knight. Ambition, quick thinking, and maybe a little headstrong. A boisterous blue jay bursts through the thickets of thorns. It flies headfirst through obstacles, unafraid to lose a few feathers in pursuit of his goals. This intelligent knight is a skilled communicator. So you've gone from the page into skilled, and it's right beside I Converse with Awareness. He seeks interaction with those of similar mental prowess. If shyness, and I did mention shy with this invisibility cloak card, if shyness and hesitation are holding you back, the Knight of Swords offers courage and assertiveness. So some of you could be shy. If you are shy, pile number 2, this Knight of Swords is saying that make your voice be heard. Learn with conversing with others and be aware. I Converse with Awareness. Be aware of the energy, of the intent of every word that you speak, of how you say it, the pauses of what you say, when you say. Listen to others. Nine of Wands is the next card out. Let's take a look. Nine of Wands. Endurance, stamina, and a little bit of exhaustion. 8 tall pine trees stand in the distance, representing the barriers that have already been overcome. Absolutely. Missing limbs and fighting fatigue, a seed bug makes its final ascent. With its journey nearly completion, a soft whisper encourages the little one to hang on. Isn't that what that little hummingbird is doing? That little soft whisper in your ear. Hang on, keep going. Oh. Your destination is in sight, but your spirit is withered and fatigued. Do you have the resources to push forward, or do you need to heal and replenish your reserves? And that's what the wear and tear of time was talking about. If you need to take a rest, please, pile number 2, do so. Let's see what the tarot down here. The Knight of Wands, we have another action knight. And the Devil. The 5 of Swords. And the Lovers, the Choice card, and the 5 of Swords. Interesting. Now, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we can compare the Devil and the Lovers. It's almost like they're opposites. They're almost like in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's the devil with two naked individuals chained to him, although they have chained themselves to temptation, desire, whatever, fear, doubt, whatever. Okay, whatever the devil's offering. Now the Lovers. In this card, the angel is what's over top of two naked people, male and female, coming together, and it's almost, it symbolizes a divinely guided love, that your spirit guides, their spirit guides have brought you together. Okay, and there's a very powerful energy with both cards, an attraction with both cards. So it's funny that we got sexual intimacy and the blessing, I'm going to say, of Amy, number 9, talking about your body, being open, not harming. There's no need for harm, but doing whatever you want with your body. And then the devil shows up. So that with the snake and the blessing of the body and the devil all coming up could very much, and if you're shy, you could be discovering. You could be, pile number 2, some of you, really taking a look at how your body not just looks, but how other people look at you. And if you've been a shy person, you might be dressing differently. You might be taking action with both the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands into areas of life that you've never been through before. I'm just saying. The Hierophant. And the 3 of Swords. The 6 of Wands, success. And the Hierophant twice. Now, in this deck, Judgment, I have 2. And the Judgment card has, I think it was in the last read, so I can at least show you what it looks like. So like this, it has the cross on his, I don't know, it's a headdress. And on this, and then the other Hierophant, and just like the other Judgment card, doesn't. It's blank, just like his headdress is blank. So I find this very interesting because it's rare that both would come out. So that tells me that you are really looking deeply. And, oh, I just noticed as far as the tarot, this is Taurus energy. Taurus energy. And we've got Taurus on the table. Okay. Okay. So as he's looking through books, as you become aware of how to converse, not only with the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and this I converse with awareness, you could be becoming aware of how you speak to people, what you say, and it could be the word for some of you. Some of you could be going out and preaching, having gone from no cross to cross. And I've said this with the Judgment card with this deck as well, that you found Jesus. For some of you, you have. And it could be from a Knight of Wands energy and the devil looking at each other, right? And we all know in tarot, if you're here, sometimes the Knight of Wands can be that what's known as the player card. I didn't pick up on that, but now with the Hierophant coming out twice, you could be really discovering how holy your body is, and going into a time of I don't want to say chastity, but if you were in this energy, this very devil energy and Knight of Wands energy, you could very well be going into a more reserved, let's say, energy. Or for some of you, you have come from a very religious background. And what they taught you, especially with this 3 of Swords, was very hurtful. And with your own learning, with your own curiosity, with your own, and especially when the Knight of Swords talks about intellect, and being very intellectual. You have successfully found Jesus, and where that religion or that church or those people may have hurt your heart, made you feel invisible, made you feel that any actions with your body, let's say, and this is also the marriage card, outside of marriage, really gave you a feeling of shame, of guilt. And what you've learned is that Jesus does not teach that. Jesus does not want our children to feel that they were born into sin. No, no, no. God and Jesus love us unconditionally. And if with the Six of Wands looking directly at the Hierophant with Jesus on his, I'm just going to say headdress. I don't know what that's called. You're having success in what Jesus' true teachings were, and that is unconditional love. And it starts with unconditionally loving you. And you could feel the wear and tear of time. This could have taken you decades to learn. You could be my age. As I said, I'm going to be turning 50 in a couple of years. You could be my age and finally discovering the true teachings of Jesus. And this was not within an institution, a religious institution, but on your own, right? I know there are people out there that don't like the fact that I combine tarot and Jesus. And I do angel reads and Christ consciousness reads every Sunday. And I know people don't like that, and that's blasphemy, and that's of the devil, and I hear you. I understand that. But I don't believe that. And this is my channel, and just like we create our own worlds, I create my channel. And I want people who might not have known the word to be curious about the tarot reads and combining tarot and Jesus and the word of the Bible, of God, and seeing how it can really weave together. Having said that, I see for some of you, you're moving out of what was taught to you, what broke your heart, that hurt you with the Three of Swords, made you feel invisible, and it could have been through an institution that taught you that you were born into sin, and then you'll never get out of it. No matter how good you are, you're never going to get out of you are the devil, you're demons, and don't even want to give that time. But when you find Jesus, by reading the word, you'll have success to learn how to communicate with awareness, to learn the value of you, of your soul, of your spirit, of your body, and then to bless, with the blessing of the fairy, to maybe do what it is, all the things that you were told were wrong not to do. I don't know. That's for you to know. For others of you, you are waiting for marriage. We got the Taurus card, and we have Taurus and the Hierophant twice in your read, pile number 2. And it could very well be with this right below the Lovers that you could find the love of your life and could marry the love of your life for some of you. And then that's when you get your little sexy on, right? And that's what I see for you, pile number 2. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care. From your Forest Fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number 3. How are you? It's your Forest Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, today's pick a card, pile number 3, is what lessons are you currently working through? What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? I'm going to shuffle the intention, and every deck we'll do the totem animals. What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons? I'm going to do this one. Is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons? What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through. What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? We'll get to the tarot. What lessons? Are pile number 3, what lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? What lessons is pile number 3? These ones are all coming out together, but they're being really pushy. So I am going to take this. Oh, which one? Which one? I gotta do this one. Which lessons is pile number 3 currently working? Oh, these cards are so sticky. But I am not complaining. I will deal with sticky cards because we have had nothing but a wet summer here at the 100 Acre Woods. And I have been praying. I pray every night that the rains keep coming so my woods stay safe. Same with my home. My home stays safe. And I don't care if there's just a rain cloud over the 100 Acre Woods. That's fine with me. If everyone else up in the north is having a sunny and warm winter summer, it's fine with me. What lessons is pile number 3 currently working through? Well, that one was very clear. And that one. And that one really does want to be seen. That one right there. All right. And, of course, with every read comes a little baby card. So, baby cards. What lessons is pile number 3 working through? Currently working through. All right. Let's take a look. First with the baby card. Oh, I was almost going to say, what is that? Looks like a creepy kind of polar bear. What does he have to say? That guy. I don't know if I like that toothy smile. Okay. Okay, so this is a really funny, because my first thought was, oh, toothy or toothless. Ancestors. And a protector. So it's almost like a funny, like that auntie or uncle that has your back, right? You know that they are a protector, but sometimes they can say and do things that can make you kind of go, huh? Oh, rooster. See, normally I would do that one, so it's funny that I went for this one next. Enthusiasm, positivity, humor, potency, talkativeness, egotism, and vanity. Interesting. Universal forgiveness. Universal forgiveness. Okay. I am getting a very different energy here with the universal forgiveness. And it's interesting that I normally would go for universal forgiveness first, right? For this particular card. I go baby card, this card, and then I go down to the totem. But I did just because I was talking about how the image of this doesn't sit well with me. Like when I see this, I can try and say, oh, it's humorous. But for me, as an image, it's creeping me out. Like I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, it's creeping me out. And so when it says ancestors and protector, like, is this a protector? I don't know if I think you need to be protected from this energy, right? And then we have what I feel for you, pile number 3, is you, and that's enthusiasm, positivity, humor, talkativeness, yes. But then there's egotism, potency, vanity, exhibitionism, and sexuality, which I didn't read the first time. But now with universal forgiveness, is there someone, pile number 3, in your past that you need to forgive? That wasn't appropriate? Like, I'm really picking this up, and normally I don't even like to give this sort of debaucherous energy that I'm feeling any time on my table. Like, I don't give it any time. But here it is. So I'm going to read Universal Forgiveness, because I think this card is really going to be the center of this read. Universal Forgiveness. Let's take a look. The forgiveness of self comes before the healing process is complete. By forgiving the self, you move beyond the ego, and we have egotism down here with this rooster, and into the universal. Within forgiveness is peace and tranquility. To forgive is to let go. Forgiving means learning. Forgiveness is a gift of understanding you give to yourself. Forgiveness is learning. Forgiveness means learning. Let's see what the fairies have. The gift of sharing. And I want to see this one right beside this card. Totality. I'm going to read that one first. 14. Totality. It looks like the Sun card. And it's right above forgiveness. 14. Okay. Times are good. You have a mastery of life that allows you total freedom of action. And the fact that it is not selfishness is demonstrated by your not doing anything to make this harmony happening. Just, you're not doing anything to make this harmony happen. Times are good. You have a mastery of life that allows you total freedom of action. And when you forgive yourself first and that of others, that gives you freedom. You have total freedom of action. Interesting. See, I love it when all the cards come out, because then it really gives the true story of what your, I guess it would be a combination of your spirit guides, of mine, to tell the story for you. Pile number 3, the gift of sharing. This is the message from the fairies. A blessing for you, fairy friend, of sharing. This fairy gift offers you people who are willing and ready to share their time, their talents, their skills, their company with you. And that could very well be people who don't look, I keep going to this odd looking bear, right? And people that don't look the part, people that may not be, I don't know, they just are odd ducks, right? People who might be cocky, who might be loud, who might be enthusiastic, but in this sort of way that sort of sets people off. And maybe because you see them for the beautiful souls that they are, is because you might have been that way at one time. Pile number 3, the odd duck, very unique, as your mother might say, right? You are a unique child. And so any and all judgment that you gave yourself, that others gave you, you have forgiven, which has given you total freedom, totality, total freedom with this sun. And now you're sharing those gifts to those you might work at, with the homeless, or with people at a food bank. And you have your corporate job Monday to Friday, but on the weekends you go, you put on your jeans and t-shirt, and no one has any idea of what you do Monday to Friday, because they only know the unique and awkward, maybe you, whatever that is. You put on your corporate sort of armor during the week, and then you can be yourself, serving up the homeless, serving out boxes of food at a food bank, giving people your sun, your hope, your wisdom, sharing your time, your gifts, your skills. This could be what the lessons that you are learning right now as we speak, that through volunteering, pile number 3, you are seeing that those that might look a little odd, because this card really sort of gives me an feeling, and yet when you see people that might be homeless or down on their luck or whatever, when I meet people like that, this card sets me off, but the people don't. I see their souls. I look into their eyes and I see them. This card's a different story, though. I'm just saying. But now with these other cards, I'm seeing, okay, I can see this as being a homeless person. I can see this as being someone who visits the food bank. And even though they might not look at what's on Instagram, they might not look as beautiful as the people that filter themselves and filter their skin and filter their friends and filter their bodies and make themselves look absolutely perfect. They don't look perfect in real life, but they don't care, because they are a true soul who's a very interesting character. And these are lessons, pile number 3, that you could be working through, of seeing people for who they truly are, looking them in the eye, and maybe forgiving yourself for being judgmental, forgiving yourself for passing by and ignoring the homeless guy. And now that you've been volunteering on your weekends, no one knows who you are, and no one knows what type of life you live, but they appreciate your time. For some of you, and I'm just saying for some of you. Now, the gift of sharing. There's a sense of generosity with this blessing, a knowing that you will not journey alone as often as you have in the past, that wherever you go, there will be a kindred spirit, a fairy friend, who will help you know that your own personal willingness to give is so much has been seen and appreciated. There are many who are now going to share their own gifts with you. Let there be good people to share adventures with. Let the ideas and dreams you have now find others who share similar values. Let those who have plenty now offer you more. And may you, too, always return generosity with the same. There is a sense of people always having enough and offering so very much to you, and you finally beginning able to gladly accept the sharing that is given to you. Know that this very gift is sweet and lovely, has arrived completely as a result of your own caring and kind nature. And so, at last, all that you have given and more is flowing back to you. Share good times, share the bad. Share your heart, share the food at your table, and with that sharing, let your heart be filled with gladness. That's a beautiful message. That is truly a beautiful message. And let's see what the last oracle card has to say before we move on to the tarot. I am humble. Well, doesn't that go along with what I'm seeing in the cards? I am humble. Indeed. I I am humble. 39. I am humble. A virtue of humbleness is the embodiment of the ideal of a gentle confidence. Oh, that is so true. This tender certainty pays homage to the notion that you are part of the all, a living, breathing consciousness within creation, an amalgamation of every element, a child of the earth, a silver of the stars. A Serbian proverb states, "Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of the stars." The transparent container which houses conceit is a boundary built on a subconscious foundation of inadequacy. In seeking acknowledgement for material worth or purely superficial pursuits, one is displaying a lack of conscious connection, as peace is replaced by a need for approval. In embodying the energy of conceit, you subconsciously empower darkness by separating yourself from light, selfishly believing that you are above all others. And it gets me back to the volunteering. Remember the tale of the emperor's new clothes for the antithesis of humbleness. A wealthy man had everything, but needed to always be ahead of all others. Yet, when he was served his timeless lesson, and exposed to the public, the moral of the myth revealed that the soul is always transparent in its actions and behavior, no matter what you're wearing. Are you naked in your authentic truth, or are you covered in lies spun from the finest of fabric? A humble heart needs nothing more than what they already are. Pile number 3. As the lessons that you're learning is to be humble. The lessons that you're learning is that you are totally, with forgiveness, able to see who you are. Forgive yourself for maybe falling into that conceit, which is in fact a sort of cloak for insecurity. Finding your own truth, forgiving yourself for maybe looking down on people that look like this crazy bear, for being cocky with this rooster, and vain. And it's funny that they I am humble mentions the emperor has no clothes, and it's an exhibitionist, right? Let's take a look at the tarot. 6 of Pentacles, equal give and take, just like the sharing fairy. Page of Pentacles, learning the value of your time, of your efforts, and the Page of Wands. I love that the pages, the student cards are here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what Greg White has to contribute to this reading for you. Pile number 3, reciprocity, offerings, and kindness. Oh, one marmot blessed with worldly abundance offers nourishment to another in need, which is exactly what the sharing fairy talks about. Given without expectation of return, this act of kindness will not be forgotten. Money and material possessions are energy in stored form. This energy, like other forms, wishes to flow from one source to another. Is there someone who needs your help, either physically or financially? Alternatively, are you open to receiving help from others? And that's exactly what the gift of sharing, that fairy message, is about, sharing. Page of Pentacles, the next one. The Page of Pentacles is discovery, attentive, and learning. A weasel stands upright, prepared to take action on a new find. Her curious mind considers the potential uses of the suspended object. The wild strawberries at her feet are symbolic of both earthly delights and her pure heart. Are you intrigued by opportunity, a personal goal, or an idea of learning something new? The keen and observant weasel spirit encourages you to examine the subject and learn as much as you can about it, which then brings us to the Page of Wands, which is creative potential, leap of faith, and new discovery. A grasshopper clings to a wooden wand plant firmly in the ground. From this position, it could jump in any direction. The grasshopper symbolizes a youthful spirit at the dawn of their creative or spiritual path. There is great energy stored within you, just like the Six of Pentacles mentioned, waiting to be unleashed. Take a leap and trust that the wind, your legs, and your wings will carry you to great and far places. Pile number 3, I think the lessons that you are currently working through is that of being humble, that of seeing your light, forgiving yourself for maybe not seeing it before, for treating others that looked like this crazy bear like they were a crazy bear. And then through, for some of you, volunteering. It humbled you. It really did. Got you out of your vanity, maybe out of your suit and tie, and into a t-shirt and jeans. And this is where you shared your time. You shared your stories. You shared food. You shared with like the Six of Pentacles, and you were learning through these sharing experiences. So let's finish off with the tarot, the Seven of Swords. You might have been lying to yourself or lying to others. The King of Wands, well, he is a natural leader, and of course we have the Sun here. This is Leo energy. The Moon. And do you see how the King of Wands is right in between illusion and the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups? Again, illusion, delusion, illusion, and what could be seen as theft. He is known, the Seven of Swords, as the thief of the tarot, looking right at that king. Were you lying about being a leader, about being authentic and warm and optimistic, as the King of Wands really embodies? Were these illusions and delusions and lies until you started working with people who might not have been in your tax bracket? The Five of Pentacles, and right beside that crazy looking bear, you could have blocked out people who weren't in your tax bracket for some of you. And manifesting, Magician. What are you manifesting? You were defending what you were manifesting. And she's looking right at the worries, how it riddled your mind, and there's the Moon right there, that what you were telling, and this is where the universal forgiveness card comes from, to forgive yourself. Don't judge yourself for what you've manifested. If you have manifested wealth, anyone that has manifested wealth, meaning that you've worked hard for it, that you've invested and made the right steps, taken the right steps, the right advice, met the right people, and you have manifested wealth for yourself, that's not something to forgive. That's hard work. That's earth energy. So that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, right? This is Mercury with the Magician that's attached to the Magician. King of Wands is the King of Fire. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could have it in your chart. You could be one. Sun, Moon, Rising. I've got it right here. You could be a fire moon. I live with 2 Leo moons and a Aries moon. So I know that moon fire. And it's explosive. It can be. It's pretty awesome, I do have to say. But what are you blocking out? And do you see that through your manifestations of wealth, you could have blocked out even being around poverty, being around people who are homeless or who need a helping hand, right? You could have. And defended the fact that, no, I don't go in that area. No, I don't drive over there. No, I don't bother. I don't take my kids to that park. No, I don't. And yet it riddled your mind. Is it because maybe, for some of you, you lived in poverty. You could have been raised by a single mom. You could have not had the finest of shoes, and now you're wearing the finest. And so to go back and to forgive and to say to yourself, my mom did the best that she could, and I'm proud of her. And now she lives in a beautiful home. that I bought for her and that I was so pleased to do so, and I gave that to her, and now you want to share that which you've learned. You've learned that you can work hard, you can manifest wealth, that when you feel worthy and when you feel rich and abundant inside, as this totality card speaks of, and when you have forgiven yourself and are able to forgive others, that's when you can step into that humble card. That's when you can step into the fairy sharing card, and that's when you can put to rest this insecurity of not having. Because maybe for years, pile number 3, you were the one who wasn't being honest with yourself. You were the one who was being a little shady, a little, not telling all the truth, but yet you led others to be able to have success. You led others, and for some of you, your company, to success. And through these learning cards, the pages, you're learning to share. You're learning to give without expecting anything in return. Wow. And that's what I see for you, pile number 3. That the lessons that you are working through are really going to pay off for both you and everyone who comes across your path. And that's what I see for you. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your Forest Fairy. Bye for now.